The soul never dies. It only tastes death. What dies is the actual body. And then that's disposed of. And it is put in the earth. And then the creatures would eat on it until it has ended and finished and withered away. The soul doesn't die. And there is the word of taste. The soul will taste death as it comes out, shifts from hayatul dunya, from the worldly life, transitioning into hayatul barzakh, into the life of the grave. It only tastes death, moving from one to another. That's all. Otherwise, you and your mind and your thought and your ability to sense what's around remains with a person as he transitions from this worldly life to the next. For this is the benefit of dha'iqatul maut, tastes. And you know, taste can sometimes be sweet and can sometimes be bitter and sour. Therefore, we're learning as well from the word dha'iqah that people are of two types. Some will have a sweet experience, an enjoyable experience as they die. In that case, it's not something bad. It's actually something to look forward to. It has a sweet taste to it. And that is the case of the believer. And as for the case of the disbeliever, then it is a bitter, sour taste, because what is ahead is much intense and difficult for him. Because even though it is Malakul Maut that takes the soul out, his job is the last job. And this Malakul Maut has an army of angels that work for him. They're the ones that extract the soul first and foremost. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, our messengers, meaning our angels, will cause him to die. That's in the first stage. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, the angels, they are coming down to extract this soul. So in the first stage, Allah sends these angels to this person. In the first stage, it is the day of your death. Allahu A'lam, in which hour of the day or hour of the night it would be. But there is a day of death that is written for each and every single one of us. Each and every single one of us has a day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, see the day in which you would return to Allah. Even there is a day. Allah tells you, fee, and protect yourself and work for that day in which you would return to Allah. There is a day. On that day, exactly as soon as this day enters, the angels are prepared and they're ready and they're coming down. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. The angels come down. That's the first stage. The second stage, these angels have arrived. They're at the body now. And each and every single person who dies goes through these 6 stages. For some people, they go through the 6 stages in an hour. Maybe some in a minute. Maybe some over a few days. And could be over a few weeks, over a few months. But these stages will be the case for each and every single living soul. The second stage is the collection of the soul from the body. So the angels begin by extracting the soul from the tip of the toes. And as a result, the toes go cold and numb. And the soul is being pulled out upwards. So now it's collected from the foot. And it's collected from the shin. And it's collected from the knees. And a person begins to feel coldness and numbness in his feet. And it rises until it reaches the hips, until it reaches his abdominal area. It comes out from the tips of his fingers until it reaches his arm, his hand. It goes all the way. This is the angel's job. They begin to extract and prepare this soul to come out. And a person senses that something is happening and something is going wrong with his body. That's when all these machines, if he's in the hospital, begin to give abnormal readings. The third stage is the stage in which the soul reaches at-taraqi. The entire soul in the body has now reached this area here, taraqi. This is the time in which Allah would say, وَقِيلَ مَنْ رَاقٍ. Those around him would say, where's the raqi? Where's the doctor? Where's the nurse? Where's someone that can come and do something for him? Hurry up! There is panic at this moment. وَقِيلَ مَنْ رَاقٍ وَظَنَّ أَنَّهُ الْفِرَاقِ. And the person that is laying there knows certainly this is the moment of departure. وَظَنَّ أَنَّهُ الْفِرَاقِ. He knows it. He has seen it. وَظَنَّ أَنَّهُ الْفِرَاقِ. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, وَالْتَفَّتِ السَّاقُ بِالسَّاقِ. That the foot of the person is wrapped with his other foot. Now what does this mean? الْتَفَّتِ السَّاقُ بِالسَّاقِ. Would you be able to walk? You can't walk. In other words, this person is now immobile. He cannot work and he cannot walk. Finished. This is the end of him. That refers to the fact that a person cannot move forward anymore. You cannot read Quran anymore. Death is a calamity because you cannot say astaghfirullah anymore. What is the feeling of a person in the grave? Has been there years and years and cannot say astaghfirullah. You can no longer pray 2 rak'at. You can no longer give sadaqah. You can no longer do al-hajj wal-umrah. You can no longer do any goodness. You cannot look at the sky and say subhanallah. التفت الساق بالساق. Finished. إذا مات ابن آدم انقطع عمله. When the son of Adam dies, his good deeds come to an end. No more walking to the masjid. No more listening to the adhan and repeating after the muadhin. No more Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. No more of this. It has ended for this person. التفت الساق بالساق إلى ربك يومئذ المساق. On that day, you will be driven to Allah. Al-masaq, because you cannot walk anymore, you are driven to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Are looking. They are looking. That's it. There's nothing else they could do other than look at him. وَأَنْتُمْ حِينَئِذٍ تَنْظُرُونَ. Allah is speaking about the family and those around him. They are looking at him. وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْكُمْ وَلَكِنْ لَا تُبْصِرُونَ. Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, and we are closer to him than you, however you cannot see it. What does this mean? It means that the angels of Allah are closer to him than you and you cannot see them. And the dying person sees the angels. He could respond as-salam to them, as Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah said. So he sees them and he speaks to them, and perhaps they speak to him. And those around him, what dua they're making, the angels are saying Ameen to it. Because it is at this moment that the person experiences fitnatul mamat, the trial and the test of death. What is fitnatul mamat? Because it is at this stage that it happens. As the soul is at al-hulqum. That's it. Khalas. After this it's leaving. This is the worst of the stages. This is the painful stage. This is the most difficult stage. This is when the high blood pressure is up. The pressure is up on the blood. This is when the breathing becomes extremely difficult. And now the soul is being prepared to come out. All of this is those angels that are around. But this is when fitnatul mamat happens. Allah Azza wa Jal, then He challenges mankind, especially those who reject the afterlife and reject the resurrection. He says, if you certainly believe that there is no afterlife, and you're adamant that there is no afterlife, there is no resurrection, then push the soul back into the body if you're truthful. Allah challenged every person who rejects the day of resurrection. He says to them, if you indeed believe that you will not be resurrected and questioned and held accountable on that day, return this soul, push it back if you're truthful. But obviously no one can do that. So this is a proof in and of itself that the matter is in Allah's hand. And He is who controls the soul and its removal. And He was the one in control when He put the soul in. Since you realize that, and that you cannot return it, then you should very well know that the matter is on Allah's hand, and He is the one who said there's a resurrection. So believe in it.